Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. And in this update, we are going to check out Litecoin's price chart. But before we see what is happening specifically in the short term, one of you guys asked in the comments that you bought Litecoin somewhere around these areas. Do I think it's gonna go up or not? And I believe you talked about specifically the midterm structures. Here's the deal. In the midterm, I'm actually very optimistic in Litecoin. Why is that? Let's go on daily time frame. Okay, so I believe there's a very high chance that starting from this high and ending to about here, most likely, we had in this phase a correction down, probably a WXY in form of either a flat on a zigzag or maybe a double zigzag, not really that important. Also, there is a chance that you might be able to find from here to about this point an ABC flat structure. Nonetheless, in Litecoin, there's a very good chance that this point right in here about, let's hide everything, okay, let's say around $42 is actually the lowest low. Now, if that's the case, then what is happening starting from this point? You see, I believe we are having most likely a 1-2 structure. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in terms of the sub waves, we must be able to find 5 up into wave 1, 3, and 5. There we go. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have different counts. Let's say, yeah, sure, okay, maybe like a WXY into wave 4 and then ABC into wave 2. And in LTC in the midterm, I think we might be somewhere around these areas. Now let's go on the live chart and see what is happening. So first things first, I believe in Litecoin off of the lowest low, we do have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up to about this point, followed by that, most likely this is a correction structure down, either a WXY or maybe an ABC, not really that important. And then we probably have in here another 1 and a 2, and then we can expect a massive move up into wave 3, 4, 5, which on a higher degree at that point this thing is going to be into wave 3, correction for 4, another move on the upside into wave 5. For now in LTC, this is going to be my primary case. Now, every single scenario should have a very important invalidation point. And what's it going to be for this one? I think it's going to be taking this low down here about $50. So if we see a move down in Litecoin in order to take this low, at that point, you know what, fair enough, this scenario is invalidated, and it does suggest that maybe instead of a series of 1-2s, we just have in here an ABC zigzag, and at that point our move down may continue in order to take the lowest low down here about $40. However, even that from my point of view is going to be a good long opportunity for the mid to long term. Okay, this is a very important point, because if we do actually get a big move down right around here, buying makes perfect sense, since your risk to reward ratios are insanely good. Let's say you want to buy LTC somewhere around $50 to $40. Okay, question, what is going to be your stop loss? If you really want to be conservative, you can put your stop maybe under the lows in here about $20. In that case, okay, you are having somewhere between a $20 to $30 stop loss. On the other hand, what's going to be your target? You see, if you want to buy Litecoin for the midterm, then okay, makes sense to argue a very likely target is going to be setting an all-time high and taking the highest high all the way up here, which is about, let's say, $420. So essentially, you are having a $20 to $30 stop, but on the other hand, about a $390 target. And this means your risk to reward ratio is somewhere around 1 to 13, 1 to 15, which is definitely not that bad. So if you want to know what is happening in the midterm in Litecoin, this is for now my primary case, and I am very much optimistic. And if you are also holding Litecoin for the midterm, I think your patience will be rewarded big time. Now, in terms of what is happening in the short term, well, unfortunately, pretty much what we all expect play out, because the last time that we talked about LTC, we were right in here, and the idea was that maybe this is 1, 2, and then another move down into wave 3, and maybe soon we're going to get some sort of a move up, but odds are that's going to be a correction for 4, and followed by that we may see another move down into wave 5. And as you can see, unfortunately, this scenario exactly played out. The question is, can we argue the low in LTC is already in? The answer is yes, you can argue that, and here is how. You can say maybe from this point we are having like a 1, 2, 3, correction for 4, another move up into wave 5, and then correction for wave 2, And what you want to see in order to be optimistic is a massive move up into wave 3 and 4 and 5. So you see, sure, you can say the low in Litecoin is in, but from my point of view, it's kind of a bit soon to jump into that kind of bullish conclusions. For me personally, I'm just going to wait a little bit more and see, are we going to get this move up in order to specifically take this important high about $98.50 or not. And why is this important? Let's go around here. You see, in a downtrend, we are having basically a series of lower highs and lower lows, right? Well, here's a question. When can we say maybe the trend has changed? When we get a move on the upside, and in that phase, we take at least the previous major pivot high. And this high right in here is actually the last major pivot high in LTC, and taking it from my point of view means most likely this short-term downtrend, which I do believe is in form of a correction structure, is over, suggesting the low is in, and from here we can expect some more huge moves on the upside. So in the short term, I think all eyes should be on the current move, and let's hope that we do get a fantastic move up. And at that point, I'm gonna be really optimistic in Litecoin just for the short term. In the midterm, that's a very different story. No matter what is going to happen in this area, I am going to remain optimistic. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Litecoin. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.